Yeah, hello everybody, welcome to this bit of a impromptu drive along video, kind of inspired by, in fact I say kind of, not even kind of, it is inspired by Trigger Lips. I am really enjoying the impromptu videos that Trigger Lips is doing, and there's something that he said on his video which I really appreciated, which is when you do videos like this, and I experienced this when I was watching his video when he was on a walk around, where you feel like you're with the person that's doing the video. I like to think people feel the same about this, whereas we're basically driving to the gym. It's very late, it's what, 9 o'clock essentially in the evening, and I just thought for a laugh I'm actually going to go to the gym. It's going to take me an hour to get there, but I don't care. I just want to see what this gym is like at this time of the day. Anyhow, point being is that Trigger Lips' video inspired me regarding when you are invested in a game like this, you do think about it a lot. And me and Ray have been having back and forth messages constantly about our moves, and we've come to a conclusion. We've made a decision. We are going to attack this game week. We're going to attack it, and we are going to make the moves of Jacob Murphy and Semenyo out for Kevin De Bruyne and Elanga. Now, the reason why we're making this move is because basically Nuno came out and has kind of given a bit of a, in my opinion, a positive update on Murillo. He said he did a training session today, so Friday, not with the full team, but they got another training session tomorrow, and it's looking positive for Sunday. And I think that tells me that he's going to start. Now, obviously, me and Ray are playing our bench boost, and we're going to need 4 of our players on the bench to be playing. Let's not mess about here. We need our 4 players to play. And I think having Murillo, even though he's going to be sat on the bench, which kind of makes no sense, it doesn't matter whether he's playing or not because he's going to be part of the bench boost, I think it's worth taking that risk. Now, I have suggested to Ray that we potentially could do a -4. Now, that -4 would involve getting rid of Murillo for a guaranteed starter at Nottingham Forest in Nico Williams. Now, Ray isn't a fan of that, and I'm not its biggest fan, but for me, it really does attack this specific game week, in the sense of we're going to have 3 Nottingham Forest guaranteed starters. We will have Kevin De Bruyne for the Southampton game, and we'd have a full, well, I'd like to think we'd have a full 15 when it comes to this particular game week, in which one of our players in Murillo and a very, very, very tiny chance, that Semenyo, come on man, Semenyo may not play. We're talking like 5% chance he doesn't start, which is unlikely. But me and Ray are really confident ahead of this specific game week with our plan. I think we have every right to be confident, and it will be interesting if Ray, because I'm more positive. I know, imagine that, Steve, and positivity. I'm a bit more positive when it comes to this -4. I think there's such a high upside, possibly high upside, in Nico Williams and his attacking threat he can have, that for a -4, taking out a Nottingham Forest defender that may not start, so let's just say he doesn't start but he comes off the bench, that's 1 point, so we're down to -3. There's Nico Williams. If we're looking at clean sheet odds, Nottingham Forest have got a very high chance of keeping a clean sheet against Leicester City. So in theory that means that me and Ray are up by 2 points. Well, up by 1 point if we're going on the Murillo thing. But if Murillo starts, this is the conundrum, unfortunately, me and Ray are in. This is the unfortunate conundrum me and Ray are in.
We need to talk.
And yeah, I think from mine and Ray's point of view, it's going to be one of those where, will we have the balls to go through with a -4, hope that Murillo doesn't start, and in turn Nico Williams obviously does, and potentially not only starts, gets a clean sheet and an attack in return, let's just say an assist. Or we play it just safe with the 2 free transfers that we've got and go, Murillo doesn't play, it's 0 points. It's annoying, but that's what we've got to play with. Or Murillo comes off the bench for 1 point, we get 1 point from him, we move on. I don't know. It's something me and Ray are going to be having to discuss, bordering on all the way up to deadline, basically. That is what we're going to need to discuss. But I do want to address actually Alex Volo's video, funny enough, I know Trigger Lips did, regarding people that put a lot of weight into content creators' overall ranks and thinking that that should dictate the information that they're giving you. And I know Alex got a bit of stick, not too much, but a bit of stick for what he was saying. And I just go down this line of, I think the people that give, in this specific case, Alex stick for an opinion regarding that specific subject matter in putting too much weight into people's overall ranks and their information that they're giving you, whether it's via YouTube, a podcast, or X. No disrespect, but I think those people are idiots. I think they're fucking morons. A lot of the time, in fact, I see a lot of the time Alex actually comments on these people's responses and basically says, have you actually read or even listened to what I've actually said in the video? Here's a tip for you, Alex, and a lot of people that are new to the YouTube world, I always say it to Gary all the time, is the answer is they're not consuming your content, they're not listening to it for the value of what you're offering or the opinion that you're giving. They're not listening to it with detail, it's just they've seen a title of whatever the video's entitled or whatever the podcast's entitled. They want to skip to wherever it may be, so they've missed all the context to what you've spoken about. And then what they do is they hear the pinnacle piece of information that they're after, and then they come to their own conclusions and they write some absolute twaddle and utter shite, basically saying that in this specific case Alex is speaking shite. Now we're all have our own right to our own opinion, but there's a difference between having an opinion which is actually contextual to what the argument's about or what the content is about than just nosediving into a specific moment that Alex is saying or whatever, like what me and Ray are saying, and then attack it because it just forms your own agenda and backs up your own agenda when actually you're not listening to all the other information around it. It's like whenever me and Ray do a video, or if I do a video on my own, and I'll just see some idiot comment saying whatever they say, and I just write back going, well, that's what I did say in the video. Did you not listen to anything? And the answer is no. The answer is no, because unfortunately, like I keep talking about, we live in this popsy day and age where everybody's just, they can only consume content for as long as a minute, if they're lucky, or if you're lucky. So they'll consume it for about a minute, and then they just skip on to the next thing, then the next thing, and because their brain capacity is so small that rather than consuming, I don't know, a 20-minute video, in fact, forget that, a 10-minute video, can't do that, so you've got to skip through because they've got to watch the next video, and then the next video, then the next video. That they just listen to, again, something that backs up their own agenda that they have against the content creator, and just say whatever they're saying without actually thinking about what they're talking about. Give you an example. So Gary FPL, aka FPL Have a Beer, has done an interview with a particular individual, and I have my opinions about this person, and I wanted to come away from the interview and say, actually, this person is, to be fair, quite thought-right, got some interesting opinions. Unfortunately, from my personal standpoint, I've come away from it thinking, actually, if anything, they've just backed up exactly what I was thinking about them. And that's me, that's actually legitimately listening to every single word and point of view that each individual is talking about. And I can make my own personal mind up without any bias, because I go into anything without any bias. Obviously, subconsciously, I could be thinking about, well, I don't particularly like this person because of X, Y, and Z reasons, but I'll give this person a chance, or I'll give this song a chance, or this band a chance, or this book, well, not a book, but you know what I mean. But unfortunately, this person just, in my opinion, I came away with it thinking, nah, they're just what I thought. I'm just going to move on. I don't need to make any comment or anything. Just bring on the next interview. And that I think is a fair judgment on whatever it may be. But unfortunately, like Alex Voller was making the point, there was this brilliant comparison, which I 100% agreed with, where you can have two gym instructors. One looks aesthetically pleasing, so it's the usual line, they look like a bodybuilder. And then you got the other person that looks like me, that just looks like a regular guy. Yeah, they look like they train, but they don't look anything like that person. So I'm just going to go with the person that looks in absolutely fantastic shape. Now, and the thing is that most of the time, the person that looks absolutely incredible looks incredible because they know how to train themselves. But when it comes to the everyday average Joe, or average Joes as it is in Dodgeball, that's a film you should watch, Gary. Dodgeball, brilliant. They can't communicate properly to an average Joe how to train and how to just actually enjoy the fitness journey. Whereas someone like me, who just lives a regular normal life, but within reason is fit and healthy and can actually guide someone in a way in which they don't feel the need to have to be restrictive in anything. You know, the usual line, which is, if you want a piece of cake, just have some cake. But it's all about in Ray's favourite word, moderation. But it's the same in the world of content creating, isn't it? When we, the consumer, watch the big channels, we automatically think, well, the advice they're giving us is specifically for me. And it's, well, actually, apart from the usual things of players to watch, which is just a general guide of what players to potentially be looking at, it's down to all personal circumstances with your team. You know, there's always an optimal time of playing a chip, or there's always an optimal time of bringing a particular player, but it's down to your own personal reasonings and your own personal teams. Like, for argument's sake, there'll be people that have got enough money in the bank where if they find out that Haaland is actually starting against Southampton, just like that, they can just take out Marmoush if they own him, bring in Haaland for the exact funds for free. But there'll be content creators that will say exactly the same thing, but they haven't got the money, so they've got to do a -4 and take out X, Y and Z players. So there's people out there that will copy it, but it's not right for their team. And I think that when it comes to like ranks and everything, people put so much emphasis on ranks. But to me, I mean, don't get me wrong, I do think that a lot of content creators, especially on X, I do see it on YouTube, but X especially, a podcaster you definitely don't, but X especially is horrific when it comes to the, you know, the sucking my dick of, oh, I've had X amount of finishes, these types of finishes in, you know, these seasons, you need to listen to what I'm saying. Well, to be honest with you, you're just pretty much saying what this person's saying who's got 10 million ranks every year. You know, it's like me and Ray have joked about the fact that we saw some, well, I did anyway, because obviously Ray isn't on, I say obviously, but Ray isn't on X anymore. He's just chose to come off it, and the video that we did yesterday explained all that. But it's just funny seeing people that are ranked really highly and their thought processes are exactly the same as ours. Well, what does that say? It says nothing. It's just a simple fact that we've all got pretty much the general idea of who we want to be bringing into our teams. It's just by pure circumstance that we're 500k and this person's 1000k. But the same thought process are there, but people just go, well, if I look at Steve and Ray's rank, they're 500k, why would I, well, not that anybody's listening to us for advice, but the point being is that why would I go for that player? Nah, don't worry about it, I'm going to get someone else. But what's that? Someone that's 1000th in the world, they're bringing in the exact same players Ray and Steve. Oh, I'm gonna go for that then, because they're, again, it's all down to circumstance, isn't it? But there was another thing I was going to say. I'm just going to quickly pause and let you watch me drive along the dual carriageway. Yeah, there was one last thing I was going to say, which is Nick says a lot about how he thinks the future of, I suppose, real life content like this may take off next season. I don't think it will, but what I will say is, unfortunately, if it was to take off, I think it will just end up as, I mean, he's not going to watch this, like a Mark Southern style vlog, which are too clean. I've always said this about the Mark Southern's vlogs, or it's not even just him. You could apply this to anybody that vlogs that has it too clean and perfect, and it just doesn't feel natural and organic. It's, oh, you've taken a shot of wherever it is with your drone. Okay. The information that you're giving me on screen is too clean cut, and it's not really you out on a walk just talking absolute twaddle like, for instance, Trigger Lips does, and it feels natural, organic. It just sadly feels like you've got a piece of paper and you're reading off a script. That's unfortunately how I feel that if, which I don't think it will, but if there was a couple of large content creators that watch stuff like this and think, oh, there could be a tiny little market here. I think sadly they will just go down the route of, gotta make sure I've got the perfect camera angles, gotta make sure that I'm giving out perfect information. But what's so charming about the likes of Yelena's vlogs or Trigger's vlogs is that it's normal people genuinely showing their true emotions about what they're going through. It's not staged. Whereas sadly with a lot of vlogs that I watch, and I'm not even, I mean obviously it's not in FPL, but it's usually in the world of heavy metal, is that a lot of them feel so staged, I've got to turn it off. Whereas the ones that I absolutely adore are the ones where they're not staged, it's just they're literally taking things as they come and go. And it's brilliant, and you feel like you're part of it, and you feel like you're with them, like, you know, whether you're in the car with them or you walk along the street with them, like that hilarious moment where Trigger Lips, you know, calls across the postwoman, "Hello, Postie!" You know, what are you doing? I forget what she's doing. But point we're standing is that it's just these natural organic moments, which it goes to that David Brent line from The Office, doesn't it? What? Cut that bit out? No, keep that bit in. They're the best bits. Not because it's of anything of interest for the audience that's watching it. They're not going to be talking about FPL, but it's just real and it's natural and it's organic. Anyhow, I've bored you enough now. That's what me and Ray's plans are. It's all about whether we really attack the game week or we be a bit conservative. Oh, listen, bloody hell. Mr. Reed's going to love this in a minute. Mr. Reed, you better be watching this. Yeah, really attack this specific game week and absolutely go for it. Or be a bit conservative, go with the 2 free transfers and end it there. Anyhow, I'm going to pause it there. Go back to this, and yeah, you can listen to a bit of Pantera. Like and subscribe.